Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
This is the Geek Podcast with Jishnu and Tejas.
Greetings! Greek fruit! Yeah! Go, episode 2.
That should be our theme song, not this 8-bitty thing.
I wrote it myself.
Yeah. Greetings, Geek Fruit! Yay!
Woo!
Hi, man.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Tejas.
Sup?
And you are?
Jishnu, they tell me.
Yeah, I know who you are, but we're just introducing ourselves.
Are we?
Yes. It's episode 2 of the Geek Fruit Podcast. And this is a cool thing. Now it's a real thing. I think once you get rid of episode 1, then you know you're on track to do more than one episode. is all the fact that I have from this conversation.
Technically, third time's a charm, right?
This is true.
This is technically the third episode.
Yeah, this is technically the third episode. Oh, yeah, this is true. Okay, cool. So, for everybody who's just listening for the first time, Geek Fruit is a community of geeks in India, started by, Jishnu, myself, and a couple of our friends. And we talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff. And actually, today's episode is really, power through a bunch of different environments or
Hang on, I'm going to try.
genres.
I'm going to try and count how many times you say nerdy in this episode.
Okay, I'm gonna leave one.
You're at 70. You're at 72 already. Let's keep going.
42, you mean? But anyway, yeah, man. So we talk about all that kind of stuff, and today's episode is going to be also about.
We're going to look into the future. We're going to be mystics.
Clairvoyant.
Ooh, good word.
Thank you, man.
Just dropping that.
Nerdy.
That thesaurus. Dropping that nerdy thesaurus.
Yeah. So we're going to be slightly clairvoyant and talk about some of the movies that are coming out this year in 2016. There's a lot of stuff. Is it just me? Does it feel like there are way more franchise-based movies than the previous?
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah?
It absolutely is. TV has really done a one-up on movies in the last year, and I think it's continuing only
right
now. And so movies, I think, at this point are just regurgitating and recycling what they've done before, either in terms of franchises that are currently being built upon or bringing back old things from, decades past.
Yeah, I know. We saw that.
Them.
Yeah, we saw that last year.
Reboots and things like that. So that's still kind of continuing. There isn't, at least as far as big, giant blockbusters are concerned, that's what's happening.
And yeah, it feels like this year also, I mean, we're going to be going through at least the top 20 films, which I think are, relevant for this discussion. But it feels like there's no longer a tentpole summer film anymore. Now just big films just come out whenever, wherever. It doesn't matter anymore. I think it's just because of the sheer number of it. I think they're just you can release it any time and you can just have a super blockbuster hit at any point of time.
Well, I define a tentpole summer blockbuster as anything starring Will Smith.
Yeah, this
so
is true.
The fact that he's in Suicide Squad, although it's August, which is not technically summer anymore, but I mean, hey.
These movies which we're going to be talking about, they're coming out literally throughout the year. I mean, we're starting off with things like Batman, Superman, so and ending the year with Star Wars. So that whole, I think there's so much right now, and there's so many weekends, and there are only so many opening days.
There are only 52 of them.
That's true. Yeah, there are only so many opening days.
Wait, let's play a game.
Yeah,
very quick.
Yeah.
I want you to let's make a tongue twister out of this. I want you to read out the entire list as quickly as you can. Ready?
Are you serious?
3, 2, 1, go.
Deadpool, Batman vs Superman, The Jungle Book, Civil War, X-Men, Warcraft, Finding Dory, The BFG, Star Trek Beyond, Ghostbusters, Jason Bourne, Suicide Squad, Gambit, Inferno, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Moana, Rogue One, and Assassin's Creed.
That's a wrap.
Alright, that was a great episode. Cool, so we're going to be discussing all of these a little bit, not completely in depth. I'm sure when they actually come on, we'll review them. We'll get to it. But right now, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back and discuss it. Nerdy!
Let's talk about things.
Now, if you want to listen to some brilliant indie music from all over the country, it's really simple. You can find me on Made in India. That's madeinindia.in. My name is May, and it's spelled M-A-E-D. Now, I've had some great artists on the show, including the likes of Nikhil D'Souza, The Cognac Net, Last Remaining Light, Tejas Menon, The Other People, Alicia Pays, Lakshmi Baum, Vasudha Sharma, Ankur Tiwari, and so many more. Now, if you want to subscribe, you can go to iTunes or Stitcher or your favorite podcast app, or you can find me on my website. That's madeinindia.in. That's M-A-E-D, or on Twitter and Facebook on Made in India.
Back. Yeah. Woo. Back. We are.
This is the sequel to your first song. You changed it.
What? Oh.
You didn't say Geek Fruit. That sucks.
Thing that we are Geek Fruit.
Yeah, so we're back. This is the Geek Fruit podcast. And we're talking about movies that are going to blow your mind or not.
Or your wallets, because there are a lot of them.
Yeah, and in IMAX and in 3D and other 4D effects. What do you think about 4D, by the way?
Is every single movie on this list going to come out in IMAX?
We have absolutely no stats for this to prove this, but I'm going to
say yes.
I'm not going to say IMAX for all of them, but I'm going to say at least 60% of all these films will be in.
I'd say maybe even 90%.
No, but are you talking about IMAX, which is like converted to IMAX, or shot in IMAX?
Shot in IMAX is different.
I think all of them.
Every single one, right?
I think all of them.
Every single one. Everything.
Oh, this is good. We should actually do more research before coming and find out which movies are on IMAX.
We should actually give a shit about what we're talking about.
Next episode. Instead of just like saying what we think. No, man, I hate Batman vs Superman. It's gonna suck. Instead of doing that, we should actually do some research. Probably. But
I don't think anybody's listening to this to like actually get any genuine.
Hey, wait 1 second.
What?
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
No. I think that's all they can get from this. See, they're not listening to this podcast.
Don't tell them what they're coming here for.
Listen, man, you listener. You listen to me right now.
They can think for themselves.
Well, then why are they listening to this podcast?
I really
honestly.
don't know. I just appreciate them so much.
Thank you. You're the best.
You are a saint.
Yeah.
And very patient.
You should have your own
movie. You are
movie.
so patient.
Yes, this is true. Okay, let's just jump in, man.
Well done.
Okay, lots of movies this year. 2016. We're starting off as quickly as Feb 12th. That's next month, man. Mm-hmm. With Deadpool. Go. What do you think?
Excited-ish.
Yeah.
Excited-ish.
I think we spoke about this earlier. We do most of the things. But we felt like all the jokes, everything that's come out so far, really funny, really good, humor. I was scared because, they push it, will they go, oh my God, I'm trying so hard to be funny. I am Ryan Reynolds. This is my last shot of being a superhero because my other two movies have failed badly.
Yep.
And one of them being Deadpool.
Yep.
But yeah, so I don't know. But do you think that's all the jokes that are in the film? That is there in the trailer?
I don't think that it's all the jokes that there are. But I really just can't get over how it's being marketed because as a budding filmmaker myself, right. I'm incredibly conscious of how a film is put out there when it's put into the marketplace,
right.
And I scrutinize that probably to a fault. But with this one, yeah, they're just going so hitting you over the head with it again and again and again that I kind of worry. In a little bit of the way that I was worried about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
When Guardians was first advertised, it was so left of center that
I don't think it was as much as Deadpool.
Not as much as Deadpool, exactly, right? So Guardians I was kind of a little bit worried about, but mostly excited, and of course it's now my favorite movie in the MCU.
Yeah.
But this one I think has gone a little bit too far into just...
But do you think it's because it's going to be an R-rated film? It's also by Fox. It doesn't have the strength of Disney. And he's also not a A-list. I mean, sure, Guardians wasn't as well, but I think just because it's R-rated, they're not going to get the number of screens that they want, just so they have to kind of go all out.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, by virtue of, competing with everything else that's superhero out there, you need to really convince people why. But I mean...
It looks good. It looks good.
It'll be... I'm excited.
I'm excited,
I said, with an ish at the end of it.
Sure.
I'm wary. I'm very wary, but I will definitely...
They've got a lot of really cool, interesting characters also. It's not just your same old X-Men. I mean, I like that Colossus is there, but they have, the teenage Negasonic, Warhead. I mean, that's an awesome character. It already looks amazing. Their characters look really good.
I'm always excited to see Morena Baccarin.
Yeah. She's
Firefly.
in Gotham also, yeah.
So she's been great in
Oh
everything.
my God, I can't believe I
so...
said Gotham and not Firefly. Oh my God, I should be burnt alive. That's a shame. No, but so should Gotham, but you have other things to say about that.
I do enjoy Gotham.
We will get to another episode.
That's a whole other show.
Whole other episode. Deadpool, I think is going to be good.
Cool.
That's my opinion. I think we should rate every...
Let's rate them. Rate them out of 4.
Out of 4? No, we can't watch it. I'm saying, is it going to be a fail, or is it going to be epic or fail? I think that's how we're going
to... Okay.
But there has to be an in-between. Fail? Really? Wow.
If that's all you're giving me, if you're giving me just epic and fail and nothing in between,
okay.
I'll say fail.
I think it has the potential to be the next Kick-Ass. But let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah? Ooh. BVS. Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of J.
Dawn of J, indeed. Yeah, man. You know my thoughts on this. I didn't like that trailer very much at all. Yeah. I'm scared. Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah. I'm scared for not as much as for this film as just for the entire DC universe, man. If this is this supposed to be the jumping off point for many of the characters. The only thing we haven't seen right now in this film is Aquaman and, say, Cyborg, who has, I think, even minor role. What do you think, man?
After that trailer, I just really...
Yeah. Okay, so let's not bash it completely. Let's do a proper analysis of it. The main really bad things about that trailer, which strike out for me, Lex Luthor. For one, it's this weird interpretation of it. When in my head, I really wanted to see like a Mark Strong kind of villain.
I wanted to see Kingpin. I really wanted to see like that kind of a
Vincent D'Onofrio.
And it's not just because they're both bald, but I mean, have that sort of
that
big
gravitas,
like, huge. When you walk in the room, the presence that you have. Yeah. Maybe he'll get it eventually. I mean, Eisenberg has some chops. He could do it if he's directed well, but then like. Snyder, I'm always on the fence with Snyder.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, like, he just seems to be like this, the Social Network villain kind of villain,
at
right?
This point.
Not like how Mark Strong is, like, Sinestro, like one of the good parts of the only probably good part of Green Lantern is he got this really strong villain in Mark Strong. And it's like, I always felt like he could be such a good Lex Luthor because he's supposed to be calculating and menacing and he's supposed to be the smartest man on the planet, at least in the DC universe, and just it doesn't come across at all.
But apart from Luthor, I have faith in Ben Affleck.
Yeah, looks good.
Seeing him in the thing finally, I was like, okay, I'm convinced. I can see him doing it, and like they look right.
Yeah,
I was never worried about. Zack Snyder, like his visual style is amazing.
Yeah,
so that way it's going to be a visual treat. But yeah, it's just that story. I don't know.
Other thing, when you say visual treat though, like I'm just hoping it's not too much CGI also, like what Doomsday looks like at the end of the trailer. And we've got pretty much the entire story, right? We've seen Batman and Superman's first meeting. We've seen the introduction of Lex Luthor in that sense, like at this party, which is there right at the start. We know that it's already that scene, that whole thing of him in the waistcoat, in the trench coat is like a nightmare because of some of the toys that have been really. And I think they did they tried to do a retraction where they said, no, there's a lot more. You guys haven't seen anything yet. That's just one part of it. Doomsday is just one part of it. But I think that's the third act, pretty much. And that's when Wonder Woman and all these guys are gonna, realign themselves to form like the Alpha Justice League.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. What a shame, though.
Let's move
what
on.
A shame that we have to move on, not discuss it more thoroughly. Okay, let's go.
Epic or fail?
I think epic fail.
Ooh, that bad.
Right in the start of the year.
Damn, son.
I don't know. I hope for Batman's sake that it's good. Like for Ben Affleck's sake that it's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's March 25th, by the way. Then we cut to 1 month later. Actually, yes, 1 month
exactly
later.
A month later.
Exactly a month later. The Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
Very important to recognize that this could be a big movie.
Oh, absolutely. The cast list for one is
amazing cast. So this is Jon Favreau, okay, obviously Iron Man director, like really good with storytelling. Chef also, yeah.
One of my absolute favorite
films. Yeah,
films.
awesome film, really well directed, and great cast, man. He's got like pretty much everybody as some. So they're doing like a mixture of like the Disney classic. So I think they have. I don't know if they're gonna have songs. Do they have songs in this?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
And right at the end of the trailer, you can hear like Bill Murray, who's playing Baloo. He's like whistling Bare Necessities.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But I don't know if they're gonna do like the whole kind of.
I think it's the vibe that they're giving off is that it's gonna be sort of like a little more adventure-y Life of Pi. You know what I mean? It's got that Life of Pi.
That's got that Life of Pi
look to it.
Yeah, very true.
Very heavy CGI, like almost Avatar level of like nothing but CG.
Yeah, he's the
really
only real character in this film is this kid, Neil Sethi.
Is he the only
Yeah, he's the only real thing in this film. So.
Yeah, so it's
interesting.
So it's Life of Pi with a lot more like, gung-ho adventure in the jungle kind of a thing to it.
And I would just love to hear Christopher Walken sing,
Who's he playing?
He's playing King Louis.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I would. I want to be like you. I would love to hear him sing that. But I don't know if there's going to be music in this film.
I wanna be like you. if only.
That would be really funny. Okay, cool. I'm actually excited about this film. I'm fairly excited.
Crossing fingers for Epic.
Yeah, me too.
For my 5-year-old's.
Yeah, me too.
Self-sick.
Yeah, it was a 1966 film. Do you know that? Wow. That's the original. It came out in the 60s. Holy. This may be wrong. But it came out in the 60s. I know that.
Son.
Anyway, let's go to the big one. This is the one we're both excited for. Marvel's Captain America Civil War, May 6th. I feel like the trailer guy now.
Very excited. Only thing that I'm not too excited about, but I'm hopeful because I have a lot of faith in the Russo brothers, is the fact that they're putting Bucky at the center of this again. Because in Winter Soldier, which is arguably maybe my second favorite in the MCU.
Yeah, my favorite.
I never cared too much about Bucky in that movie. But that being said, somehow I loved that movie, even though the main antagonist wasn't that interesting to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're bringing him back, I'm like, him again? Well, then again, they did make a really great movie out of that. But I know that he's somehow gonna be like, once again, a sort of instigator for the Civil War to happen. So I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that maybe he's not going to be the center of attention for very long. Maybe at the very beginning, like we've seen in the trailer, he escapes after he's like
caught in the vice.
Caught in the vice. He's unbrainwashed. By
we don't
by the
know.
Avengers.
We don't know how that's happened. By the way, they have not explained how he's been unbrainwashed. I think he just remembers towards the end of. No, he remembers at the end of Winter Soldier because he saves his life and he puts him on the beach and that's it. And then he moves on. So I don't know whether he's like finally remembered everything and how he's come into that position. But yeah, man, like what I've always felt is like I like Winter Soldier because he serves a great purpose in telling Captain America's story, which is like, this whole man out of time thing and stuff. And Winter Soldier is like this, Bucky is this one character who throws back to who he originally was. And, and he's like the one piece of history that he has. Not including, of course, Peggy, but she's like too old right now. So, I think Bucky is important less as an antagonist, more as like, just like a reminder for Captain America that there's a history to his own life and a way that the world used to be that he's very, accustomed to that now and is changing. So I think that is more of like,
I love the value of Bucky.
Yeah, the value
I just don't like the idea of him being the core focus,
so
which I don't think he will be.
Because right now it's going to be the whole...
So
did you see
once
that thing?
is taken care of, what?
They put out a PDF of sorts, which is basically what the Civil War agreement is. It's called the Sokovia thing.
Oh, they've put that out?
Yeah, so it just came out like...
the entire document, the entire
No,
prop?
it's just one page.
Just the cover letter?
Yeah, and it's basically saying that, you guys will have to, be vigilant and come under government supervision. And it's like underneath their like sign below like their names like Black Widow, this, Steve Rogers. Like it's pretty funny. But it's cool.
That would be cool. They should. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, and I'd actually be very interested to see if they'd. I think I would buy it if it was not uber expensive. If they like sold like an official like the entire document. And some intern in the back of the Marvel office had to like sit there and type up like 50 pages of just.
That would be an awesome job though. You can just do whatever you want.
Spend the summer just like doing.
But
that.
I feel like only two people in like I think like Joe Quesada or like like just like Brian Michael Bendis. Only are the people who know so much about like the Marvel history at this point to be able to write something like that. But yeah, man, adapted from a great comic. I think it's going to be a great film. It looks really serious. It doesn't look like a superhero film. It looks like a political film. That's what we've always loved about Captain America. I think it's going to be epic.
Epic is all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Moving swiftly into
very swiftly.
X-Men Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse. I don't like it, man.
No,
I'm not impressed just as yet. So
but you're not the biggest fan of the X-Men thing.
No, I love the X-Men.
Beyond First Class, right? Everything after First Class,
which
is only just
I didn't like.
Future Past,
I may be one of the few people. Everyone loved Days of Future Past, but I wasn't. I liked it, sure, but I wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Oh no, it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
First Class was amazing.
It's fantastic
because of the fact that it was such a changeover from.
Oh my god, it was so good. And that, just buried in the history of like the, Cuban Missile Crisis. There was just a number of reasons why that was so good. Kevin Bacon, just being amazing. Like, I was like, oh my god, Kevin Bacon is in an X-Men film? Holy shit, that's amazing. So yeah, I'm not really excited. I think because I grew up reading a lot of X-Men and watching the 90s cartoon, the 80s cartoon actually, which I watched in the 90s. But yeah, Apocalypse, the character, just first off, I love Oscar Isaac, obviously, but he doesn't come off as the imposing kind of like, Apocalypse, like, he doesn't look like Apocalypse. He looks like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers.
Really does.
I mean, like, that's something that's been on all the, on Reddit and everything,
He also kind of looks like he belongs in Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
Yeah, yes. I mean, also because of the history.
Also because of the fact we saw him by the pyramid. I was like, you just look like the freaking Mummy. You're like the Scorpion King or whatever.
So, and lots of characters, okay? Like, a lot of characters. Casting, I don't know, man. I like Ty Sheridan. He looks like Cyclops. He looks like a young James Marsden. But Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. I
just don't like Sophie Turner at all. Like, even in Game of Thrones, I'm just like,
no, but that's because her character is, like, I'm sure she's a good actress.
True, I've only seen her in that role. So, I mean, I'm hoping
so have I, but my point is that, she has to play that kind of role in Game of Thrones. I don't know, I hope she can bring it, like, because Jean Grey is a difficult character. I don't know how much they're going to dive into it. I don't think that much at all.
That being said, since you've, seen a lot of the original show and you've read it a lot, Jubilee...
Yeah.
What the hell? Like,
I don't know. I have a soft spot.
What is she? What is Jubilee?
Fireworks, man.
Like,
fireworks.
Even the name, like Jubilee, like you're like that's a London tube station line.
Jubilee is like a celebration. And that's her X-Men name. That's her, like...
Yeah. But what the hell is that?
I think her first name is something and her last name is Lee.
So what does she do?
So basically she has kind of powers like Gambit, which is like kinetic energy, but I think they just manifest themselves in things that look like fireworks, which is why she's like, even the way they wrote her was like, she's this young kid. Okay, she's very like, like rebellious kind of young kid, as opposed to the much older X-Men. And basically, because of her powers and the way she is, she's just like really fun and like a really 80s kid, wears that, and they've given her the exact same clothing.
Yes,
which is
exactly.
Quite cool to watch.
Bold move there.
So I don't know, man. I mean, I obviously like the 90s shows.
Every time I see her, the first thing I think about, Mr. Sparkle from The Simpsons. Did you ever see that episode?
God. Yeah,
Mr. Sparkle.
Yeah.
But
like, I'm pretty sure that is inspired by Jubilee. Jubilee is a pretty important character in the comic. Anyway, besides the point, X-Men, not there yet. Like, I think X-Men is really important, and I love Fassbender and McAvoy. They're amazing in this, and they always have been, even in Days of Future Past. So I hope they can like do it, and I hope that Oscar Isaac, bring it in terms of but so far, not there yet for me. Personally.
Epic or fail?
I think it's gonna be a fail.
Ooh.
Yeah, just because it's gone downhill from.
I'm hoping for Epic because the Future Past was definitely lesser so than First Class. So I'm hoping that maybe now they've realized what they did wrong, and now they can.
Yeah, that happens, Jishnu, in movies. Like the third one is better than the second. It's never happened. Okay, cool. We're gonna do one more before we go to the break. It's Warcraft coming out on June 10th.
Did you ever play it?
No, I mean I've only been spectator to my friends playing Dota. Like
I've played. So I never played World of Warcraft, but I played Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 3's 2 expansion packs, or just the one.
So as a gamer now, we can divide our.
Okay, I loved the game.
Okay,
that game is arguably my favorite strategy game that I've played. I haven't played too many, unfortunately. And the thing is, I haven't been a PC gamer in like.
In a while,
decade maybe. I mean, basically since like the PS2, I haven't been a PC gamer really.
Right.
So I loved the game itself. The trailer that I saw, good effort. I mean, but then again, it didn't really tell me.
Is it the same story as the game?
Yes, it is. But the thing is, the game is it's 3 games that are like the actual games, and it's got the whole MMORPG world.
Of course,
right? So it's massive. The universe of Warcraft is so huge.
So
and
what have they taken?
They're starting with Warcraft 1.
Okay.
So I never actually played that game.
All right.
So this is essentially, they're going from, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that they're going from the entire story of Warcraft 1, which sets up, why the orcs and the humans don't like each other, apart from the fact that they look different.
Okay.
And it's sort of going to bleed into a little bit of 2.
All right.
The tiniest little bit. And then I imagine, movies being what they are, they're going to set it up for a sequel and so on and so forth.
And it's great director. I love Duncan Jones.
What's he done?
He's done Moon. And Source Code also. Both movies I really liked. I like Moon better. But yeah, man, like, for me, for someone who hasn't played the game, I think it looks great. I think it looks like it has that very Avatar-ish kind of quality to it. But that doesn't, like, scare me. Like, I mean, like, it looks really interesting. The story looks good. And I'm just playing the odds here. There's not been a really successful video game movie.
I know that.
This is probably it.
But here's the thing, though. So, like, with a video game, there are so many things about each individual character. I mean, like, like, even like the simplest foot soldier, right? You know what his moves are. You know his like skill, 10, his 10.
His
hello, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I'll do that right now. Yes, I'll kill that guy. I'm running away. Like, all their little catchphrases.
Yeah.
For every single character, their backstory. Like what their houses look like. What their barracks look like.
You know what their houses look like?
I mean, you do. Because you build their houses
for them to exist.
Like they're built like their version of pylons. Is essentially what you know about. And so when the gamers watch this movie, they're going to know so much that they'll be constantly comparing to and looking out for. But then I'm curious about the layman viewer, the one that hasn't played the game,
and I'm not going to play it before this.
Exactly. So I mean, like, curious how they'll deal with the fact that you have these people that will scrutinize it to the highest degree possible. I think, where in which we know the story and we know every little detail about every single visual aspect of this game.
Right.
But then.
But has it been faithfully like recreated, like in terms of the world, at least like what it looks like? Is that what is? I mean, from what I've seen, it looked
pretty close to what I recall. But then again, I didn't play the first one, right? So I'm thinking back to like mainly little bits of like part 2 that I recall seeing. And just in general, the scenic decor and like the way the buildings looked and whatnot resembled a whole lot. And it's mainly about the characters, really.
Fair enough.
So, and the characters look awesome as all hell.
Yeah, it looks really good. And I think this could be like, one of those breakthrough kind of hits, like, like how I love Rise of the Planets, like the new Planet of the Apes series with Rise and Dawn. Both have been so good. And they just literally came out of nowhere, right? Really good. So I think this could have that, that kind of random, just because I'd like, again, like I said, good director.
It could, but I'm still leaning a bit towards fail simply because I think the gamers will get so much more out of it than the non-gamers.
Fair enough. I think it's going to be epic.
To a degree that I think is hard to balance for the showrunner. For the director to be like, the amount of fan service you can do with this is obscene.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have to tell a story.
Exactly. So, you have to tell the story, but then you want to acknowledge both parties.
Do you think, and this may be a topic for another discussion, that's why video games will never reach the level of...
It's possible. I think, it's such a nuanced issue that you don't really get with anything else.
Okay.
Because, like video games, you just know inside out, because literally you play it through... 2-3 times over, and like you get to know everybody so well with this that it's
cool. That's interesting.
It's a toughie. So I'm gonna say fail, but like just barely. Into
I'm gonna say epic. I think it's gonna be very interesting for sure because of the director. There is one more video game movie coming out this year. We're gonna talk about that and all the other ones post, I guess, Warcraft. So we'll be back after a small break. So pause the game. Reference.
Let's pay bills.
You can listen to Cyrus Says from our apps on iOS, Android, or our website, cyrussays.in. You can also listen to services like iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcasting softwares. It's cyrussays.in.
Right, and we're back.
Geek Fruit. Woo!
That's the short,
see what I did there?
Short sting version
That's just the chorus. That just dropped the chorus.
What?
Just the chorus.
You
Not
forgot?
a verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to go to the middle 8th?
No, let's not even speak of it again. We have so many movies to discuss. All right, yeah, we're talking about a lot of the movies that are coming out this year. 2016 particularly. And we were gonna hopefully cross the midway mark with the last segment, but we only stopped at Warcraft, which is June, which I guess is fine because that's halfway through the year. Yeah.
So we are at June 17th, Finding Dory.
Pixar, man, always a big one.
Can't deny them.
Yes.
Can't ignore them.
Cannot ignore Pixar.
Nope.
It's, and Finding Nemo, one of my favorite films, I think film of the year, 2003.
2003?
Yeah, 2003, by the way. Yeah, and you know what the problem is? So here's the funniest thing. It's a direct, sequel, which means, it's, happening literally, only maybe a couple of days or weeks or months later. So not like Star Wars where, 30 years have passed and all that, So, they had to, so the guy who played Alexander Gold, who played Nemo, he couldn't play Nemo anymore because his voice is broken. He's an adult now.
Oh, man.
And he cares about other things, adult things.
Finding other things.
Yeah, finding other things.
Finding a job.
Yes. Well, and this is very true because he couldn't act in this one.
There you go.
Yeah. So, so it's picking up right from there. Ellen DeGeneres was one of the better things of that film. The whole movie was really great, well scripted, but yeah, she was really good. And
she's awesome.
Are they milking it? Are they milking the franchise? It's not even a franchise, but now it is.
Are they...
Could they have just ended it over there? Why do they have to find Dory? Though admittedly, it could be an interesting story because of the whole amnesia.
Honestly, being Pixar,
doesn't matter.
Toy Story 3, without question, is
I agree.
One of my favorite films of all time, ever, hands down.
One of those few series where the sequels are better than each previous part.
You wouldn't think it could be done, but Pixar will do anything you say that cannot be done. So I don't.
Except for Cars 2. Sorry, you guys failed there.
I resent everything I just said. Yes,
but yeah,
Cars is a travesty.
Cars was nice. Cars 2 was
Cars is a complete travesty. But no. That being said, I have nothing but the utmost faith in this one. Especially,
I have faith. Yeah.
Having been this long, it's also because it takes some years to make it, right? So that gives them a lot of time to
think about the
story. Think about it,
Here's the other. I have one other query. It's just I hope, and I don't think they're trying to get fans from the original because the kids who watched that movie were really young and they're really old now. So it's not for the same.
I think they'll do what they did with Inside Out. It was a kids movie about kid problems, but then everybody in the audience that was crying was adults. You know, like
myself
actually I saw it with my family, and like my folks were like beside themselves.
Oh man.
You know, and they're in their 60s, and they were just like, why is this little kid's movie doing this to me?
That's exactly what happened to me in Toy Story 3.
Because it's Pixar, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why do I care about whether these toys go to the lava or
well,
not?
hey, it's Tom Hanks. I mean, I care deeply about that.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, Buzz. Oh my god. I mean, Tim Allen. Yeah. Buzz Lightyear.
Okay, so this is a definite.
But you know what?
Epic,
I just want to end it with, I haven't seen a good trailer yet. I've not enjoyed the trailer.
That's fine. I don't care.
It's fine,
I don't care about trailers. They all, more often than not, they do harm than good.
Okay, that makes complete sense. All right, cool. Let's do it. So I think epic then.
Okay.
Yeah.
The BFG. Mother flippin' G.
Yeah. Wow. About time though, right? Because like, very popular story. Loved it as a kid. Roald Dahl. And Spielberg is doing this film. Spielberg and Roald Dahl. That's like a match made in heaven.
Absolutely. Roald Dahl is one of my favorite childhood authors.
Of course, like
ever.
Everyone, yeah.
Might be my favorite.
And let's also very important mention Quentin Blake, the illustrator, who made the look of like all the Roald Dahl books. I mean, like that was really key in us also visualizing it as kids.
There's something about the Spielberg Roald Dahl, especially BFG match, that makes me think of like E.T. but big.
Good point.
I'm crossing my fingers that I'm going to get like the feels of E.T. but with a giant.
This is true. That's a good. And you know who else is in this film? Bill Hader.
He's in this film?
Yeah, he's one of the bigger giants, like not the so the BFG, the big friendly giant. He's like the runt of the group, right?
Right.
So like he's one of the guys who like flesh lump eater.
He's having a good year.
It's his time, man. It's totally his time.
BB-8 to BFG.
BFG.
What's
he's
next?
in Trainwreck. He's
BBS2.
Ooh.
See, just all the R&Bs, just dropping
I see how you're doing that.
I'm a poet.
He'd be a good Riddler, huh?
Ooh.
Bill Hader as Riddler. That would be cool. Or any villain. Like he's got such good acting chops, man. Yeah, cool. So I'm excited about BFG for sure. Definitely. Spielberg.
Yeah.
Next one. 1 week later, Star Trek Beyond. I just want to make a point before this. Like this, look at this. Look at the number of films that are coming out literally subsequently. So
in June and July. I mean that's the summer.
Fair enough, but do you think in this entire year any one film is going to be able to like claim the top spot for like a long period of time? Like Star Wars Force Awakens, still number one right now in the theaters. And that's because no competitive film has come out in that time. But like this year onwards, like each one of these films, like if they play their cards right and, you know, just like if they've done the story well, does it have still like the potential to kind of retain a top spot and make like a big gross, even though, you know, it's a good film? There's so many other films coming out and this could just eat, you know, the market share. It's just like something I've been thinking about. And like, I don't know, man, there's not enough space.
I think the one that might do it is the one that we're going to talk about right after Star Trek.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, so Star Trek Beyond. That trailer, right?
Yeah, right.
That trailer with Justin Lin, director of Fast and Furious, has come to...
making it look like Fast and Furious.
Yeah. And Beastie Boys.
Though,
again, love that song. That doesn't really work for Star Trek. Star Trek is not about... It's about exploration. And they've made it more... So I was thinking about this. Redeeming factor. Simon Pegg is writing this one. So that's good.
That is very good.
And Idris Elba is there in it. And there's no wrong that can happen if Idris Elba is in a film. That's not true, but still he's there.
I think what it could potentially have in the positive is that it's now just them exploring. That is the premise, which the TV show has always been about. It's like, it's a very episodic kind of a thing where the continuing adventures of, which is what this finally is. Into Darkness,
with the name Star Trek Beyond.
Into Darkness was set up and at least advertised as the story about this one specific thing that we know about, and it's about Khan, and it's about, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that was fine and all good. This one, we don't have a clue what's going on, and just by virtue of Beyond, it's like we are now going and doing stuff, and
action.
Adventures will ensue.
But, you know, I was hoping that this could be like a think piece, you know, like Star Trek has a greater mission, right? Like it has like, it's not like Star Wars is like religion and stuff like that, you know, like, you know, hope and faith and all that stuff. But Star Trek is more about like, you know, like things like Prime Directive, you know, not allowed to reveal yourself to, you know, a species without, you know, but try and help them at the same time. Yeah. So I always thought that's what Star Trek is good at. And that's what it always, like Gene Roddenberry's always been about, you know, what is the political nature of, what is the allegorical thing that we're trying to say with this series or with this story and stuff like that. And I feel like I don't see that in this film. There was a hint of it in the last one where he's talking about his race has been, you know, damned, you know, like a Khan's race and stuff like that. So I thought that was a little bit of it there, a little bit obviously with the origin story, but not much in this at all, like, at least from what I can tell. What do you think?
I think that what they're getting at is I have faith that Simon Pegg is going to write something intelligent and not just a
I
Fast and
hope
Furious
so.
movie.
Yes, this is true.
But that being said, I think that they're at this point now where they kind of just had to put something together that is exciting and explosive and will just get butts and chairs. They haven't given away anything about the plot.
Yeah, nothing. It's just
right?
like cutscenes.
Which
It's
keeps me optimistic because, like I said, trailers can often do more harm than good. And the fact they didn't tell us anything is what I'm just happy about. Like,
yeah, there seems to be a lot of like Guardians of the Galaxy style action and like lots of starships like zooming, like a lot of like TIE Fighter was the X-Wing kind of thing.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
On the fence.
On the fence. Let's not go epic or fail because we love Star Trek, so let's not do that. Next one.
All right.
On my birthday.
Yeah?
Yeah. July 15th, everybody. Remember the date because it's when I was born. And then Ghostbusters as well.
This is the movie that I think could potentially hold on to the number one.
I feel like...
Simply because...
Yeah.
One, it's Ghostbusters, so like
this is true.
you're going to see the Ghostbusters. Two, because of the fact that and not only just any all-female cast, but this particular all-female cast, right?
And this director who's been doing all-female casts, you know? Yeah.
And so, one, it's a great franchise. Two, it's brilliant actors in it.
Yeah.
And three, just...
Original Ghostbusters are coming back.
Wait, what?
They're in it. Yeah, they all have cameos and stuff. Like Dan Aykroyd is there.
Even Bill Murray?
Yeah, Bill Murray is also there.
Oh, you
in
read?
It. Yeah.
Oh,
so they're all there in it, and that's what I'm wondering. I don't know if it'll be a passing of the torch kind of thing, but it looks. I think they're already going to be in action. It looks good. It looks good.
I think it'll stick. Number one, because of the fact that it's all women, and I think we mentioned last episode between Furiosa and Rey.
Yeah,
great year for feminism.
This is true,
and I think this will continue that and sort of like really set it in stone because it won't be. How do I put it? It's like with Rey and with Furiosa, it was like, women can be strong, empowered characters too in your as your lead protagonists. This one, these girls will take it on the cheek and like really have fun with it.
Yeah,
and it'll be like easier to swallow in that way. You know what I mean? Like you won't be hitting yourself over the head with the fact that like, hey, we can do it too. So I mean,
they'll reference the whole empowering part
exactly,
of it.
Which I think people will be really drawn to.
I can't remember the director's name. It's escaping me right now. But like even like he's done Bridesmaids, he's done A Spy, all like movies which I really enjoyed. Like they were really funny. So
I really need to see Spy.
Yeah, Spy is really funny.
Really
I'm sorry, but like the funniest person in that film is Jason Statham. Dude. he's hilarious in it. But I mean, like, so this director definitely knows what he's doing. He's really funny. He really knows like the medium, and he knows how to direct comedy. So Ghostbusters, man, and like I'm feeling like this is the one thing we can have redone because Back to the Future is never happening again. Like because until Robert Zemeckis like dies.
Did you see Marty McFly and Doc on Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Did you feel a little
bad?
Odd, the whole it felt kind of uncomfortable.
See, it's always going to be uncomfortable with Michael J. Fox because he's got Parkinson's.
No, not him at all. He actually, I didn't mind Doc. It was the Doc. Like he just seemed like way too slow on the uptake. Like it just didn't seem like.
Well, they're really old, man.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Like it just felt. It was like a 7-minute long sketch.
Yeah,
and it was live, and like the jokes that they were doing were like fast paced.
Yeah,
but they were just
really.
Yeah, like I felt a little. Maybe he shouldn't be doing this.
But see, there were a couple of like
especially
things that came out.
Especially in front of a live audience. You could hear the
Good point.
Dead silence between jokes.
I should go and rewatch that and feel awkward.
Yeah.
But like there were a couple of things that came out when Back to the Future did the whole across the whole October 21st. Oh my god, I hope it has a date. I'm so scared that's wrong. But they did a couple of things. I think like Toyota or like some car company did like this really cool thing with Back to the Future. It was cool, man. Like it was really sporting of them to come back. Nike announced that this year 2016 is going to be with the self-tying like shoelaces and stuff. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's cool. It's Back to the Future, and it's never coming back, which is good actually, because that series was complete with like those 3 films. Actually, just the first 2 were enough to complete it. But Ghostbusters is not complete. Like there's not been a third part. It's just like
we don't have closure. We
don't have closure. I agree.
Do you know if Rick Moranis is coming back? He was arguably my favorite thing about those movies.
I think he's gonna be in Ant-Man though. The sequel.
Rick Moranis is an Ant-Man?
Yeah, he'll be in the
Is he
going
to shrink the kids?
Yeah, that's the whole point, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to get him. Doesn't he just remind you of Fred Armisen?
Yes, the glasses. It's mainly the glasses.
And also the lead singer of Weezer.
Yes.
All of these guys are the same.
Dudes with glasses look alike. This is white guys with glasses.
This is terrible. Okay,
wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, Part 3.
Yeah.
Have you seen the YouTube clip of the kid pointing at his crotch?
No, what?
This is a thing. It's so good. I don't know how I stumbled upon this.
What?
It's got like 1 million views, so it's kind of viral, but I mean,
Okay, I'll
I
check
don't
it
know if
out.
people know about this, but it's a little clip at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So some guy's done an edit where he's just taken out like 30 seconds of this scene. It's where they're all saying goodbye. They're at the train.
Yeah.
So it's the Doc and his wife and Marty, and the kids are there, the two
Oh,
kids.
yeah, the 2 kids. Oh, he's pointing at his crotch.
So there's this one shot, which is like, so it's an over-the-shoulder thing back and forth between Doc and I think Marty. They're talking.
Yeah.
And the kid is standing up on the train.
On the train, yeah,
And
he's
he's
on
like
it.
standing there while Doc is saying his lines. And so the kids, they're 6-year-olds or whatever. They're looking around, not being the best actors, but just they don't have any lines to say.
Yeah,
so they're
they
just
don't.
eyes are wandering, doing whatever. And then this one kid just looks dead into the camera, and he just with his eyes he gestures down or something, and then with his hands he doesn't grab his crotch, but he points at it or
Wow.
itches. I forget exactly what he does.
That is hilarious.
But it's great because this guy who put it together, he edited out 30 seconds of this, and then right at that moment, it this just slow zoom. And
Of course he
it
did.
has nothing to do with
Thug
anything.
life.
And you gotta wonder, did they know that this was there in that shot when they put the movie together?
I think they were
did-
just about done.
Did somebody let it slip, or did they just not give a shit anymore?
I think they didn't give a shit. They were just
it's brilliant. Just look it
it's
up.
Funny.
It's on YouTube.
I'll check
Just-
it out. Wow.
It's so good.
That is hilarious.
Anywho, now that that's out
Oh
of the
my
way.
gosh, yeah.
So
Wow.
moving on.
We are at-
now in August.
No, we're still in July.
Still in July. Jesus Christ.
July 29th is
Something
Jason
July.
Bourne. What did you think of, are you a fan of the Bourne series? Have you read the books? What's your take on Jason Bourne?
I actually haven't seen any of the.
What are you saying? Have you not?
Don't tell anybody.
Oh my gosh, Jishnu.
It's on a list.
For shame.
It's on a to-do list.
It's a really good series. It's
Yeah.
pretty, at least the first 2 are really impressive. Though, actually, I don't know which is the one which Paul Greengrass did. So he's doing this one. That one is awesome. I think it's the third one. I think it's Supremacy, and that was really sick. And
wasn't that Ultimatum?
It is Ultimatum, you're right. I
Yeah.
stand corrected. Oh,
I
for
haven't even-
someone who
I
hasn't
haven't
seen the
even seen them.
series.
I just know the names. Hey.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, so it is Ultimatum. Yeah, it was great, man. It was great. I could be wrong, though. I think I'm talking about the second one, but I'm not sure.
I really need to see it.
Yeah, but this is how aloof we are about the Bourne series.
Yeah.
But it's good. Entertaining films. Some of the best car chases. There's one. I think it's Supremacy. Amazing, man. Really, really well constructed. So it's a good action film. And it's got a really interesting kind of storyline also, with the whole, he's an agent, but he's amnesiac. And then they redid it with another character who's gone through the same program, who's played by Jeremy Renner, and his character's called Aaron Cross. And that movie I didn't think was all there. And then they did another thing, and now they're back with this thing.
Wait, so are there 5 movies?
this is the 5th, yeah.
Oy
I mean,
vey.
the 5th Bourne
Oy
thing.
vey.
Reborn.
All right.
Yeah, well, epic or fail? We have literally no idea.
Nope.
I'm going to say fail. Because
Okay,
I think
yeah.
I think it's an excuse once you just, really why?
Yeah.
Anyway, big one.
August.
August 5th.
Will Smith.
Will Smith's August film.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Is it sad that we're calling it Will Smith's film? But it does seem that way.
It does seem that way. That's the only reason. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It should be an ensemble.
Yeah, but it is. I
But
mean,
it's,
it's got the word squad in the title.
Exactly.
I mean, Will Smith Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned this to me when it just came out. I can't name a movie where Will Smith has been in it and it hasn't been about Will Smith.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. He's he cannot. He's
Which
not a
I don't
supporting
mind.
actor.
I don't mind. I love Will
He can
Smith.
carry a film. He can totally carry a film.
I cannot tell you how much I love that man.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited that he's going to be in this movie, but yeah, rightfully so. I don't think that it's fitting for him to be who he is in an ensemble-based film.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've spoken about it. It looks really caricature. It looks very comic booky.
It does.
So that's cool. I like that Amanda Waller, very important character from the comics, is there in it, played by Viola Davis. So that already speaks really well. Big part of this film, Jared Leto's Joker. What do you think?
Curious. I've always been a fan of Jared Leto.
That's the real divisive epic or fail. It's going to be one of them.
It is. But here's what I'm really most intrigued to see. If this works, if this does succeed in some, even if it's not amazing, but if it does, do relatively well and it does well in the box office, I'm curious to see if this sort of sets, or rather resets, what superhero movies could be for the DC universe.
It's true, yeah.
Because Marvel have their thing down. We know exactly what their archetype is now.
Their
for the superhero
formula,
movie. The
yeah.
formula, and it works and it's great and we love it. But you cannot deny that superhero movies are getting saturated, and the way in which they work and the structure and the engine is very repetitive now, and we've seen it all, and we know
Saw
it's
it in Ant-Man, dude, last year itself. Yeah.
Well, so now with Suicide Squad, if they are trying something totally new, could they set a new precedent for DC's rebuttal to Marvel? Because BVS is sort of kind of doing the Avengers assembling kind of thing for Justice League.
Quickly, right?
Right, so they might be a little too quick. So then maybe Suicide Squad is trying to be completely different and say, let's just throw a wild card in and put somebody like Will Smith who will put butts in seats for this movie.
Butts in seats.
Right?
Yeah.
So people will watch this movie.
Yeah.
And Will Smith can deliver. Jared Leto could potentially deliver. He's always done it before.
He's a great actor. There's no doubt.
So the gamble is, let's try something completely different. And if this works, then we can follow this up to fight Marvel's monstrosity of the MCU and Netflix and, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which represents. I love that movie.
We will talk about
eventually.
We will talk about it.
They just released their first comic.
What? Really?
They released their first comic and the...
is it good?
I haven't read it yet, but it just it's pre-ordered thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, so for me, like what I feel is like now DC has to do this really like quick kind of world building. Because they don't have that many films under this whole new DC universe and a cinematic universe. And I just think like the approach they're taking is highly risky. Yeah. But like you said, for the points that you just made, like it could work like ideally because like, with Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, they had the time to kind of really do it individually because it was unprecedented. And now that it exists, like I think DC's like they were trying to catch up anyway. So Man of Steel, was the first one. They did well. BVS already throwing in like 4 more characters, and with Suicide Squad there are so many characters. It's insane.
They're kind of working backwards from like what Marvel did. They built up to the Avengers, they're now going to build down.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What about that? That's cool.
That could be cool. I mean, because what can follow? Like, wouldn't you love to see a Harley Quinn solo flick? Sure. Wouldn't you love to see anybody in the Suicide Squad's solo flick? Especially
that's
if
what they've said. Yeah.
If you have Will Smith playing Deadshot, Will Smith can play he can carry an entire movie on
Which
by
is
himself.
So strange though, because like Deadshot is like I keep talking about, he's an asshole in the comic books, but they've given him this whole sympathetic role because they've given him a daughter. So they've made his character really, really more important. And it's fine, it's not like characters haven't been changed, Iron Man is now a funny guy, but in the comics he's also
maybe they'll kill off the daughter in this movie and then he becomes an asshole.
Maybe. I would like to see him play an asshole. Because only he cannot always have appeal. But I'm sure he'll make it that likable as well. Man, Suicide Squad, like so much to talk about.
Fingers crossed for Epic.
I hope it's good.
I really hope it's epic.
And Batman is there in it also, so that's going to be cool. That's going to be interesting. So epic or fail, man, Jishnu?
Epic.
Epic?
I'm hoping. I want to believe.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
I want to believe.
I'm gonna say fail. Right. Oh God, I don't even know if this movie's coming out. Gambit, October 7th.
Yep.
Is it coming out? Is it confirmed? So it got cancelled, and then again it got confirmed. I think the whole thing was revolving around Channing Tatum's availability and stuff like that. And second X-Men film this year. It's also Fox, right? Is it also Fox?
Yeah.
What is Fox doing?
I don't know.
What the Fox? Anyway.
I would love to see Channing Tatum just be Channing Tatum like we know him to be in like the 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, he's
thing.
funny.
And
he's
just
a good
give
actor,
him,
man.
He's great.
Yeah.
Have him just be that, and give him a bunch of magic playing cards that he can throw around, and give him Donatello's stick, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, I think so.
I've always liked Gambit. Just because
I love Gambit, dude.
So the thing is, I don't know the X-Men lore all that well. I watched the 80s show for a little bit when I was a kid, and Gambit always stood out to me as like, that's a really fun set of random superhero assets that they've just like put together. It's like they had a Scrabble bag.
He has only one.
It's like they had a Scrabble bag of like, you get this superpower and you get this costume and you get this weapon. And so like they just pulled out, Donatello's stick, you get bunch of playing cards from the Joker, and you get a purple bandana, or whatever the hell that thing is.
Okay, Jishnu, I'm going to tell you what his powers are, just for the record, okay?
Yeah.
He's got kinetic energy.
It's playing cards that he throws really
he
fun.
throws playing cards because he's a gambler, he's a gambling addict.
Yeah.
And so he charges the cards with the kinetic energy that he possesses, and that's become his like trait now. So it's not like cards are his specialty. Like he can produce cards. Like
they should be.
Like what?
It's like he's like Jubilee. He's like Jubilee, but with like cards. And so like she just has the diamonds, but he's put the diamonds on cards.
She didn't like get bitten by a radioactive deck of cards. Like he just has kinetic energy. And also So the other thing is he has unbreakable legs. Yeah, he has titanium legs, some shit like that.
What?
Yeah.
Just his legs.
I'm serious. Just his legs.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. So you're right. You're half right. I'd give you that. Okay, Gambit, epic or fail, man?
It could be such a fail.
Anything. I've not seen anything from it, but based on Channing Tatum, just Channing Tatum, go for it.
I'm going to say epic.
Hope it's funny
because I think he could do what Ryan Reynolds is trying to do with Deadpool as well. In that sort of, cheeky, self-aware humor and poking fun at himself.
But that would change the character.
It would change the character. But then
it's
again,
been done before.
Nobody knows, like, Gambit is not the biggest X-Men character out there. So, I mean, like, you wouldn't be offending too many people.
He's a fan favorite.
If you messed with him. Yeah, he's a fan favorite, but I mean, there aren't...
I'd say arguably as, like, popular as, like, like Deadpool. He's about as popular as Deadpool. But he's, like, from an older generation, but, like, as popular. I'm going to say fail. Sorry, not everyone can win. And because you backed out on it, now you deserve vengeance. Next movie. I don't think it's worth discussing, though, but let's talk about it. I don't know if Ron Howard is directing this, but it's Inferno, the next film in the Robert Langdon series of fame, like of Da Vinci Code and, Angels and Demons fame. Nah.
Anything with Tom Hanks in it.
Again, yeah. He's like, why is he doing this? Is he like just trying to pay off the, like, like, does he just want to buy a car or something? Like, he's like, I really want, like, should I just do Inferno? Yeah, maybe. I've not read this book, though. Have you?
I have not read that.
Okay.
No. I mean, I always love any movie that, like, dissects that topic area of, like, religion and all that stuff.
It's cool, yeah.
It's very cool. I mean, yeah, the movies weren't as good as the book, and that's all great. And,
and even the books were, like, it's just like pulp, almost.
Exactly. So, I mean, like...
Just sure.
Tom Hanks. I love the man. I'll do it.
I'm going to say epic.
Yeah.
Let's say breakout hit of the year, Inferno.
We have very little to talk about on this.
Okay, but we have a lot to talk about on this next one. Okay, cool. So on the note of Inferno, one of what I think is going to be like a landmark film in 2016. We will take a break and we'll talk about some of the smaller films of next year, like Doctor Strange and Rogue One.
Yeah, those little.
We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Amit Gurbaksani.
I'm Purva Mehra.
And I'm Pranoti Datta. And we're from a city website called The Daily Pow. And we have a new podcast called The Powcast. So you can listen to us on the Indusbox SoundCloud page as well as iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn.
Hi, now we're back. It's the Geek Food Podcast with Jishnu and Tejas. I'm Jishnu. No, I'm Tejas. I'm Tejas.
Nerds.
Okay, so we're discussing some of the what are going to be the big films of next year. Of this year? Shit, it's already 2016. I'm sorry. That was my fault. It's 2016. There's going to be a big movie coming out in a month. Like, literally, Deadpool is coming out next month.
Is it just a month?
Yeah, pretty much. Today's the 12th.
Oh, damn.
I mean, today's a day which we recorded the podcast. Sorry. But yeah, man.
Way to break that fourth wall.
Yeah. Thanks. 5 big films coming out at the end of the year. Starting with what I am really, really excited about, and I'm sure you are as well, Doctor Strange, November 5th.
I just saw that... the photograph and just lost my shit.
It's awesome. It looks awesome. I really, really think it's got a lot of potential.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Just like the whole cosmic, magical, mystical part of the, Marvel, universe, which they haven't really got into. This is the one, man. This is the entry point.
I'll tell you what my favorite thing about the MCU at this point is now with the Phase 3 characters coming in, these new characters coming in.
Yeah.
With Strange, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, all these folks. What I love is that they've made such a rich universe that I'm just so excited to see other parts of it that potentially would have nothing to do with it, with the pre-existing parts that we're already aware of in their own film. You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah, that's true.
Guardians didn't actually reference too much other than Thanos just being referenced to and not really having too much to do with the actual plot itself.
Yeah.
They didn't really tie into the Avengers world, really. And it was a self-standing film.
That's what, they were trying to do,
I love the fact that they don't have to constantly bring you back to make you give a shit anymore.
Yeah, this is true.
These films will stand on their own. It's like Doctor Strange. I'm really excited to see what he does with his, whole Tibet trip that he's going to have. And,
excited, man.
Like
and
you said Spider-Man is going to be in this one, and that's great. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with him.
Speculation.
Yeah.
He was on the set, yeah.
But he's such a cool character on his own. Like, I'm just happy to see him finally get a solid shot at being on the big screen. And
and
played
also
by a brilliant
Benedict, man. I think that just like win right there, like from the get-go. It's gonna be, he's a great actor, and like I think also they've run that well dry with with Robert Downey Jr. I think they need they need another leading guy who's gonna maybe take it another 10 years ahead. And Benedict could be like, and I'm excited to him for him to play like this anti-hero kind of thing. Like he's a great character in the comics.
Now that I think about it, with the Star Wars stuff coming back now 30 years hence and like having the guys play their older selves, Doctor Strange is the kind of guy who you get Cumberbatch now in his 30s, 30, 40 years from now, when he's in his 60s and 70s, if, knock on wood, the MCU is still going strong enough and we want it.
Yeah.
That's the bigger question. Will we want it in 30 years?
Will we still be doing podcasts?
He can come back as a really brittle old guy, but still be badass as all hell. And, it wouldn't be weird. And he can still be incredibly charismatic.
Or they could Doctor Who it.
They could Doctor Who, but what I mean is that
they don't have to, yeah.
Benedict
Why would you
Cumberbatch,
get rid of Benedict? Yeah.
Why would you replace Harrison Ford? Why would you replace Benedict Cumberbatch? I can see you replacing Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Ant-Man. Yeah, sure.
You can replace Ant-Man.
Easily replaceable.
You can easily Doctor Who that guy. You can easily Doctor Who Thor as well, and they will. They'll make a female Thor soon enough.
Yeah, that's true. But that Natalie Portman has to play.
Is she going to do it?
No, of course not.
No, it is Jane.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is Jane. But I don't know if they're going to reach that point, because also, what is Natalie Portman doing in any Disney film? Like Star Wars, she's terrible. Thor, she's like inconsequential. It's just like, why? Natalie Portman, you're a good actress. You're really hot. Please don't do these films. I'm sorry, I'm just saying it as it is. But yeah, man, this film looks really great.
So excited.
Yeah,
so
epic. I think we'll go straight up with epic.
Absolutely.
Also, but last point to think about: are they gonna do the same old kind of origin formula with this film? He breaks his hands, has to go to the pit, finds himself, but then loses, but then, becomes the winner at the end, which is exactly every origin film, right? So I want to know how they're gonna, because they're doing so many origin films. They just did Ant-Man like last year.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago. So I really want to see them do it like either non-linear or do it some other way. Like they can use the cosmic aspect, the magic of it, to kind of tell this really bizarre way of telling the story. Like they can just use that to their advantage. So I'm a little scared about that. I don't want it to be very linear of the exact same type of origin story. There's no pleasing us fans.
But I think that's what's going to happen. We know that is the.
I hope not.
We do know that it's going to be him in New York. He's going to be a doctor. He does surgery. Hands get messed up, and he's going to go to Tibet. That all we know, which is the origin story. Maybe they
do it like Memento.
Maybe it'll be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'd love to see something really non-linear, like really like Pulp Fiction style of. I don't know how it works, but like there has to be a different way of telling.
I think best case. I don't think they're going to do it pulp style, but I think best case scenario is that we start with him already as Doctor Strange, and he's just being badass, and everything's awesome.
And then flashbacks, mystical, magical flashback.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's our best case scenario.
Yeah, fair enough.
But still, epic nonetheless.
Still excited. So great cast. It's going to be great. Like with Chiwetel Ejiofor and Kate Blanchett. A lot of good people.
Home stretch now.
Not Kate Blanchett. Sorry, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah,
let's move on.
Home stretch.
Home stretch. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
We haven't been in the Harry Potter world in a couple of years now, right? When did the last one?
2008, I want to say.
Oh, what?
Yeah, 2008, 2009.
8 years ago?
Well, 2001 was the Philosopher's Stone, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then they have like 8 films, so. Isn't
2008? No.
2010? I don't know. Maybe 2011? I'm not even sure. But it was a considerable. It was at least 5 years.
3 or 4 years.
Oh, I was going to say at least 5. I was going to say at least 2000, like max 2011. We could easily just research
we could look this up,
now.
But nah.
But yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
that's the important point. Are you a big Harry Potter fan?
Not huge, but I'm a fan.
Yeah, I read all the books.
I've read all the books. I've seen all the movies.
We've read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them as well.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, it's a textbook. I
haven't read it.
Yeah, by Newt Scamander, which is a character that Eddie Redmayne is playing.
I loved the books.
Yeah.
I thought they were great.
Yeah. Movies, not so much.
Movies, not so much.
Yes, there were some hits and some misses, I think, in the movies.
But,
Harry Potter,
I'm
man.
excited. Yeah, I'll always watch a new Harry Potter thing. I mean, I will always check it out.
She's milking it.
Yeah.
She's milking. She's got a stage play on called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which has 2 parts. It's the first stage play which has 2 parts. Even that has to have 2 parts. I think that's crazy, man. I think that's just ridiculous.
This is definitely milking. I mean,
you're richer than the Queen, JK. Just stop. Like the next time you announce a film or a news story, just sign it off with JK. Just kidding. I already have enough money. I would love to see that. Like where she's just like, enough is enough, man. Like even
didn't she do a follow-up?
She did
book as of them as adults.
So you know Pottermore. It's that website and stuff like that.
I checked it out for all of like 30 seconds and I was like, no, I'm not that kind of a fan.
I started playing it and basically you unlock like different like the director's cut.
Deleted scenes.
Yeah, deleted scenes
chapters
of Harry Potter. So yeah, but I mean, okay. I mean, Eddie Redmayne is a great actor but I didn't find his like portrayal. There's nothing different about his portrayal so far. So let's see. I'm interested.
Here's one good thing that we can look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it when I was watching all of, 8 Potter movies. But the cast that they got, that's like
They got basically UK.
Exactly. They got like the British army of actors in that movie. And so I would imagine that they'll only continue that.
Sure. And on the new generation, which is like Eddie Redmayne, etc. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Even though they got like the titans of British acting in those movies, they still weren't like particularly amazing movies.
Well, that's only because there's a lot of material to go through. If it was a Game of Thrones type series, Harry Potter would be amazing, right? Imagine if every book was like a 10-episode HBO series. Like there would be so much more sex and like violence and
it's not impossible that it's going to happen.
What? Like, that's actually
Harry
true.
Potter TV series?
Oh, I will watch it. I would
absolutely watch
Netflix. Oh my, people will die.
Happen,
Let's kill themselves.
let's move on.
Let's move on. We just reached the pinnacle. Okay. Oh my god, I'm so excited about the next 3 films. Like all 3 of them. Starting with this one, November 24th, Moana. It's the next, what I think is going to be the next Frozen. And you know what a huge blockbuster hit Frozen was. But I didn't like Frozen as much because of that song, Let It Go. And I think that's an overrated song. But this film, you know why it's going to be awesome. If you smell what is cooking, The Rock is in this film. What? I love The Rock, Jishnu. You know that. You already know that.
I have never heard of this film.
What? Really? Moana?
I don't have a clue what this is.
Okay,
what the hell is this movie?
So basically it's like the next like Frozen. It's like it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that short Paperman?
Paperman?
Yeah, which came out like after, it was a short before Frozen. It was really nicely animated, and the reason why it was really unique.
No, there was a lava thing.
That
was Inside Out.
Inside Out. No, so this is a Disney film. And basically they had that short film and it had a really cool style because it was like a 3D, 2D version of it. So like while they look 2D, it's actually set in a 3D world. It's like really, so that animation style they're is being employed in this. So it's about this Polynesian kind of princess.
So it's an animated Pixar
It's a Disney
movie.
princess film.
It's a Disney princess.
Yeah, the next one. And it's interesting because it's about this girl Moana, how she's going to find herself through these Polynesian, like these islands and stuff, like this whole Maui thing. And basically she takes like the aid of this demigod, which is what he is, which is Dwayne Johnson. And so he's there in the film, and he's singing in the film.
Oh!
It's going to be amazing.
He sings like an angel.
He's great, man. I love him. And you know I'm such a huge
He was
fan of The Rock.
on Jay Leno, like, however many years ago.
Yeah.
And he sang a Sam Cooke song.
What?
And I love Sam Cooke. So I was like, he won so many style points when he did that.
Yeah, he's great. And he sang like in a bunch of films. Like he plays Uke and, he's got that whole thing.
He sang Taylor Swift.
Yeah, he's great.
Ballers.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. He's amazing, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, if you say it's Disney Pixar, then
and I think this could be like the next Frozen. Like it could, and that made a buttload of money. So anyway, this is that one. Next movie is the movie that we usually now will start to wait for every year, which is the Star Wars film. But not any kind of Star Wars film. What is it?
It's the first solo flick, spin-off film,
one shot,
if you will. There is talks that the guy who is going to be young Harrison Ford in the one that'll come out in 2018, whatever, potato. Yeah. Who will be in the Han Solo flick that'll come out in 2019? 18? Yeah. Will feature in this movie as well.
Which is why they're trying to cast him very quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
But they've already started production on it.
Yeah, there are already some stills and all that out, which are really nice.
And so I read this last night that apparently they're still like 2 or 3 weeks at least away from casting the new Han Solo. But they're already in production for this movie.
That's fine.
So it'll probably just be like...
they'll write in a scene.
Yeah.
But, here's my thing.
Hello and goodbye.
But why is Han Solo in this film? I thought he doesn't...
He's smuggling on Mos Eisley.
Yeah, sure. But as long as he doesn't get involved in the entire plot of the film.
No, he shouldn't. But I mean, he's the kind of guy that will be around Imperial entanglements.
But why do that? It's just to...
it's fan
maybe
service.
Just fan service and just to set up his film?
Yeah. But
can I be very honest?
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to a young Han Solo film.
I'm not. Oh, God. Who the hell is? Why would you...
Because you know what I am... What I really want, though, which everybody wants, I want to see Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan again. Like, I want to see him do a film between 3 and 4 as Obi-Wan.
That would actually be...
I mean, now with this whole theory which we, by the way, completely missed, that Rey is a Kenobi.
Yeah.
That's a great theory, man.
Oh, I love that.
I can't believe I skipped that theory. It's a great theory. But yeah, man, I would love to see that. Rogue One, I am excited though. It looks really cool. It looks like this has been said before, but like the Saving Private Ryan of the Star Wars film. First anthology film. It's going to be good, man.
So good.
Gareth Edwards. Didn't like Godzilla that much.
I was not a fan. Yeah, I'm skeptical about him, but Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy. God bless her.
I love the movies who got we're now at the age where we actually care about producers.
Yeah, you should.
Like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Nobody
gave a damn.
I think
Kevin Feige
and Kathleen Kennedy alone have just made the word producer like a household name at this point. Like, you now know the cast, you know the director, and you know the producer, and you know obviously.
What used to be a very TV thing now is like kind of switching to movies. I think. Yeah. Interesting point for another episode, maybe. Find out next episode. I don't know. Okay, last one. Okay, I'm a big fan of this franchise. I've played pretty much all of the games, so I'm in. I'm deep.
I've played.
I'm in deep.
3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of 5. Holy crap! I don't know how many I played.
I've still played the last one, which is Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I've not played Unity yet, but I have played all the other games.
I've played up until Black Flag.
Yeah, same. Oh no, I played after that also.
I have not played Black Flag. I mean, so I think I played 1, 2,
played Black Flag.
1, 2, 2.2, and 2.3, and 3.
So, man, the story of Assassin's Creed is really unique. It's good science fiction. I really like it. It's the whole thing about genetic memory. It's about a guy who realizes that his ancestors were assassins, obviously. And
it's the Matrix with time travel.
Yeah, but it's not actually time travel. He's just reliving the memories, but we see
it. It's time traveling through this Matrix world.
So I think that's what's really nice, that Assassin's Creed, when people just look at it like from a layman's point of view, they just see this whole medieval thing, but it's actually a very futuristic story. So I think that blend between the science and the technology and this, Templar versus Assassins thing, that's going to be really unique. And I think if it's not going to be Warcraft, this is the movie that is going to kill it because it's got Fassbender.
True. That it does have on its side. Fassbender
and it's an original story, right? It's not based on the games. Isn't that in the sense of it's not based on
it's
Desmond
not directly
Miles.
based on that storyline. But just for how funny it would be, I'm kind of hoping that what is easily the biggest problem with the video game repeats itself in this movie, in that it's incredibly repetitive, and after you play like 5 stages, you're like, it's the same mission again, I just have to do it like 90 times over.
But Assassin's Creed 2 was the best game, man. Like, it was, they reinvented
2.1, 2.2, 2.3.
Just 2, the first Ezio Auditore story, which was
the
great.
one in Italy, that was very nice.
Amazing
that
game.
Was very
and
nice.
I really love this story. I think the story is like one of my favorites, just like, I don't know how far they're going to get into the whole Jupiter and Mars and ancient aliens kind of thing, but very excited. That's actually the last film on our list, man. We made it. In less than 10 minutes, we got through all.
It only took 3 days.
It's been a long time. We have been in the studio for a long time. But yeah, man, there's some really good films coming out this year.
We're going to do this really quick.
Yeah.
In like 60 seconds,
What?
I'm going to run you through one random news fact. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
Random news generator. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so David Bowie just died, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring this up right at the beginning of the episode.
Oy.
Yeah, and
right?
It hurts. I think just as a science fiction icon, worth talking about, man.
So, on that note, James Gunn put out a statement recently.
I read it.
He was considering
casting Bowie in
Guardians 2.
Oh my god.
How amazing would that be? Shy of Kevin Bacon playing Chris Pratt's dad. If David Bowie was Star-Lord's dad.
It seemed like the right thing to do.
That would just been...
Oh my gosh. What a shame. I mean, just generally what a shame. What a great guy. Amazing. I mean... there's too much to talk about.
David Bowie. Can afford the copyright to play like Space Oddity to like close out the show, right? Yeah.
We'll make Space Odyssey remake because that's what we can't afford. But yeah. Just rest in peace, David Bowie, Ziggy.
So many awes.
Aladdin Sane. Oh my god.
Alrighty.
Icon gone. I was going to talk about, quickly, Ryan Coogler, I think that's his name.
Black Panther.
Yeah, directing Black Panther. What do you think, man? Good director, made 2 good movies. Though I've not seen Creed, so I don't know. I've seen Fruitvale Station, yeah.
Sly won the Golden Globe.
Yeah! So that's a thing, huh?
Right? Honestly, when I saw that trailer, I was like...
No, I like the trailer. I'm really excited about watching the movie.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
So...
And Michael B. Jordan, very on the... it's like all these guys who were in Fantastic Four, all good actors, but just got slighted by a shitty film. Can I say shitty? I'm not sure. We've already done it.
We just did.
Yeah. So. That's what it deserves, y'all. Don't censor that word. Anyway. But yeah, man, I like Michael B. Jordan. I think he's got a lot of... that kid has got a lot of spunk. He's a good actor, man. I think he could be good. As long as they don't cast him as Han Solo, I think I'll be fine. Michael B. Jordan for everything. Every young character, again.
Anywho.
Yeah. That's my thing.
Enough of
so
us.
yeah, I think Black Panther gonna be great.
Cool.
So, thank you very much for this special edition episode of the Geek Fruit Podcast.
What's so special about it?
It was long.
I guess.
We spend a lot of time here.
Yeah, they're all long.
I think it should be appreciated.
They're
much.
all 50 minutes too long.
15 minutes?
50.
You mean that means we should not be doing this at all?
This is a horrible mistake.
Okay, cool, man. But yeah, so next episode we're going to be talking about some other stuff. If you have any other things you want to talk about, if you have any suggestions, or if you think that we were absolutely wrong in what we were saying, you can just mind your own damn business. Or
and
you
then
can
tell
mail
us about it.
You can mail us on contactgeekfruit@gmail.com. Find us on our website, geekfruit.in, or our handles, geekfruithq, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Snapchat with
Smackchat.
Snapchat.
Smack that.
With Jishnu handles, so he's all yours. Okay. Take care and bye.
Nerds.